Hey, this is Malorian, and this will be 4 games from a Steamroller. Now, I started with this crazy picture because I started off the Steamroller with a crazy idea. I said, hey, let's have some friends over for some board games the night before. And I mean, that sounds good and all, until you start doing some heavy drinking and playing till 3 in the morning. You have to get up at 5 in the morning and then drive 3 hours to the city where the event is. So probably a bit of a tactical error there. I've heard from other people who go to the larger cons about all the, kind of like the attrition of your brain where, you start playing worse and worse as you go through the con. And we'll see if anything happens like that here. But either way, I am running 2 lists that I know very well. My Siege list, which has all the nice shooting. Only big change is the Nis Hunters to deal with Bradigus, which I was even wondering if I'd even see because of the change to the stones. And then also my Haley2 Dude Swarm, which I've now grown very comfortable with. So, even if my brain is a little bit foggy, I should be fine. Alright, so game 1 is going to be up against Brent and his Legion. He is running a Haley2, one I'm very used to, and I of course got my Signar, and I'm going with Siege for my first game. So I'll just kind of go over the list quick. I got the Rangers, I got Ayanna and Holt, I got Harlan Versh, I got the Black 13th, I got the Squire, I got the Reinhold, I got the Stormwall, the Gun Mage of the UA, and then also the Nis Hunters. Haley2, of course, this is the tier 4 and all that goodness, and what he's running over there is Vale with a Succubus. You got 2 Angelius. The Seraph wouldn't really fit on the base, so that's the base there, and you can see the Seraph behind it. He also has the Naga, then he has the Max Pot, 2 of the Ravagors, 2 Shepherds to go along with them, and then also a Rake. The scenario here is a kill box. You need 5 to win. You get 1 for dominating the close flag, 1 for controlling the far flag, and 2 for dominating it. Now, this is a matchup I feel very comfortable in. I faced a lot of Haley2 thanks to my buddy Ryan and my gaming group here. And yeah, I mean, normally what happens is he zooms up, I feat, I take off the 2 Angelius, and then I'm sitting pretty and I can start going for scenario or whatever. So, like I say, really feeling good going into this one. So, he had won the initiative and was going first, and so he actually does something that caught me off guard here, and really didn't come at me at all. His whole army shifted to the right. The Ravagors took a couple of shots, didn't really scatter where he needed them, he was kind of far off, but yeah, look, the whole army just shifted to the right. Vale is actually kind of left all by herself, something you don't normally see. I mean, I can't threaten her, she's too far away, but it was just something that was just not really expected, and I mean, this could be counter-deployment. He was saying after he wanted to get his Angelius into more of my Nis Hunters and stuff, but yeah, now I'm thinking that I'll go more for scenario right away and get to this left flag. So on my turn, I kind of move up a little bit carefully. The Nis are going up onto that hill to get some nice elevation. I go up there with Siege into the trench I was given normally, and then I make a foxhole for some of the gun mages to go in. Harlan Versh trying to rush over to get back to where the action is. The Rangers moving up. They're a little bit far away. I didn't really want them getting shot, but I wanted them to be in a spot where they could run up and control that flag if needed. Although, really, they're kind of too far away then, so that I can't have one run over to mark. So that was a little bit of mistaken placement, but otherwise, as you can see here, other than the Stormwall running up, most of the stuff is just kind of waiting for him again to come to me so I can feat and kill his models. So on his turn, this is where he's going to get a little bit more aggressive, kind of now spraying a little bit back to the left side, probably seeing that I'm going to be moving in on that flag there of his. But either way, you can see where the Ravagor shots tried going after the Nis Hunters there in the bottom. He was only ever able to kill 1, so kind of some real bad luck there. The Angelius on the left was able to shoot down 1 Ranger, and otherwise now he's kind of split his forces. So he has the group here that's on the right and the group on the left, and I saw right there that I'm pretty sure I can kill Vale. She is right behind the Angelius. All I have to do is get up with there with Siege, do a Force Hammer. She has Stealth on her currently, but if I do a Force Hammer into the Angelius, slam it through her, knock her down, then put up the Mage Sight onto her, you know, between Siege's shots and then also my Stormwell shots, she's just gonna die. But in my last Steamroller, it was a failed assassination just like this that kind of ruined my day. And so I decided, you know what, let's play this safe. I'm going to try and shoot down both Angelius this turn and go for attrition. So I go for that, and it didn't quite work out the way that I thought. I do go up with Siege, take my initial shots, and do my feat and all that stuff. But I couldn't really get it all done. I mean, one of the things that he did here is by spreading out from left and right is I couldn't cover that much with the feet from where I was. So I went up, put myself in a foxhole. The Rangers just basically ran up to be marking the Angel and also get to a spot where they can control the flag. With my shooting with the Stormwall and Siege, I was able to kill off the Angelius and the Naga. The Naga doesn't really do too much, but hey, one less beast is something. Otherwise, on the right, I'm doing my shots into the Angelius here. Really damaged it, but didn't really, I mean, clearly didn't take it out. And where I'm at, now I'm up 1 control point to nothing. So on his turn, he has a bit of a counter here, and one of the things I didn't think of is that he could actually purify away my foxhole, so that got me a little bit scared. I did have quite a few models in the way. I think he probably could have worked it so that he could have maybe got to Siege, but then the assassination wouldn't have been very good and he would have died after. But as you can see there, this is going to be his feat turn. He's going to go and purify off all the things that were there. He's going to be having stealth up onto the Seraph. He actually has admonition now up onto Vale with all the feat shots and all that stuff, and now the pot has made between last turn and this turn a Shredder and now a Harrier. You know, those two lessers are in there making trouble for my Rangers. All the obliterations went and killed off my Black 13th. They also were able to kill off Iana, which freaked out Holt, so that's not good. Araic is making me trouble on the right side. Ravagore shot into my Stormwall, did some really awesome damage. The Angelius came up and killed some of my Nis. So yeah, a little bit of an attrition swing here. And again, I'm looking at this saying, I could kill Vale. I'm very, very certain I could just kill Vale right now. She's camping a bit, but I don't want to lose by doing that. I think with attrition, I can really clear out this left side and be in a very safe spot. So I play it safe and I have Siege go back to the trench, but I did make a bit of a derp here because I forgot that the stealth was on the Seraph. It's just something you don't normally see, right? If you look ahead and saw that there's those 2 upkeeps, it'd be stealth on Vale, and then something like Refuge or Admonition would be on the Seraph. And so when my Stormwall starts shooting it, yeah, it actually kind of fails. But I was able to shoot and destroy the 2 lessers, so that's something. Otherwise, on the right side, I was able to kill the Angelius, so there's another heavy off the table. I was also able to kill both Shepherds, so that's going to really cause him trouble now with Fury management. I also did a big shot into the pot there trying to take it out, but unfortunately didn't do enough damage. So the attrition was okay, but still, I'm not really happy where I'm at. So on his turn, he's going to try and focus on my Stormwall. Both Ravagores shoot it, and in the end there, it doesn't actually do enough damage. It doesn't take out the right side, so the Seraph charges in, finishes off the right side of my Stormwall, does tiny damage to the other side, and really we end up in this situation here. And this is where I say, like, okay, now I just can't let this go. Vale is standing right there. She has stealth on herself. I think it's no transfers or maybe 1 transfer, and I just, you know, if I let this go any longer and the Ravagores kill my Stormwall, well, then things are kind of over. So right now I decided it's time to kill Vale 2. And so that's really what I do, is I run up over a Ranger model, I go and I do the Force Hammer to it, slam it through her. I don't even remember if she even had stealth on her. But either way, from all the shots I had going into her, it was even just Harlan Verse. Just pew, 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 pew. Yeah, it must have been that she didn't even have any stealth up. But either way, she is dead. And I win this one by assassination. So got a little bit dodgy. You know, maybe I got a little bit too comfortable there, fell into my routines, but in the end, I was able to pull it off, so glad to move forward with the win. So in Game 2, I get Bryn, and Bryn Holstock is one of the guys on Team Canada from last year, and, you know, he's a really good player, and so to draw him turn 2 was going to be a little bit scary, but then again, it was also good because I wanted to test myself against him. We only played once way back when I was new to the game. He beat me then, and now it's about time for us to play when I was better at the game. Now, he had 2 lists. He had his High Reclaimer and then also a Mon. The Ramon list really threw me off, but I could see it definitely as a Bradigus counter, rather. And so my side, I decide whether I should take Siege or if I should take Haley2. Now, typically, I would run Haley2 when I saw this. I'd run up, I would just kind of try and bog him down, and then I go for Scenario or Death Clock. Now, unfortunately, with this scenario here, where again, it's kill box, you get 1 point for dominating the close flag, 1 for controlling the enemy flag, 2 for dominating, but it's being contested by an objective that you could destroy for another point. This one is really hard to win by scenario, so the Veil 2 thing would really only have the Death Clock on the table, and this list and the Amon one can really grind down infantry. So then I look to my Siege. Siege could really rip apart all those jacks on Amon's list, and then over here at least has the Mage Sight to get past the clouds. So in the end, I decide to go Siege. I'll be looking to try and set up an assassination, and yeah, on his side there, he is running Amon with a Devout. He has 2 units of Bastions. He has the Book. He has Rupert. He has the Zealots with UA. He also has the Idrians with UA. And really, like I said, I think I'm going to have to take my beatings early and then just look for that spot where I can get that assassination. So this time I have the initiative, so I move up. I have a Foxhole here on the right. Oh, sorry, he also has Epic Iris by the temple looking thing in the top right as well. But really, this turn is just me setting up my Foxhole and waiting for him to come to me. And come to me, he kind of does. I mean, he doesn't really just run forward or anything. His prey target is actually Reinhold, which I thought was interesting. So I'll just keep Reinhold back and stay safe. But you can see there where some of the Idrians are kind of up and out there. But they also have their mini feet up. So they have cover and concealment, or sorry, camouflage. So they're really hard to hit. Otherwise, everything is behind all the clouds. And the Zealots are in a spot where they didn't mini feet because they're safe behind clouds. But what I could do is go up and do a ground and pound and kill a lot of them early. So my plan here is going to move up, do that, and then really offer him a lot of targets. I want him to move up and spread out so that hopefully he doesn't even really have the clouds to help him, and the more gaps in his lines, the better chance I can go for assassination. As well, since this is kill box and there's that wall back there, once he moves to the other side of the wall, it'll be a lot easier to do a force hammer to him. So unfortunately I have a big problem, and that's that when I move up and try and do that ground and pound, I get stuck between the storm wall and Ryan. Now this was almost made even worse because I almost kill boxed myself. Luckily I didn't, but that meant that the ground and pound was about 3 inches further back, and as you can see, I only able to kill 1 model instead of killing a whole bunch more. So ground and pound really ineffectual. Storm wall gets right up there. I put down 2 covering fires, and then I also put up the pod so that Ryan can shoot it. So I really am blocking off the Idrians very well. Otherwise, Rangers getting up there, and Nis. Now this is part where the Nis go up to kind of force him to feet, right? So I'm going into him. If he goes past, he'll take 3 strikes and die. But what I'm assuming he's going to do with the Zealots is he's going to mini feet, move through my lines, and be going after all the Nis and gun mages on the left. If that happens and they're out of the equation, they're moved out of the way, the High Reclaimer has to move to the other side of the hill, now I should have a big enough gap that I should be able to set up the assassination. Now, most of my plan goes the way I thought. Lost a little bit more than I thought on the right side of the board because the Zealots actually went after, you know, Ryan and Lynch and all that type of thing. But the biggest problem is that wall actually allowed him to stay behind it and still be in kill box. By the way, I forgot to mention they also had Ian and Holt, but yeah, he moves up, is able to kill all these things, and I mean, here's why I kind of realized another mistake. Okay, first of all, him not being forced to go to the other side of that wall really makes the Force Hammer Slam really hard to line up. Plus, look at what he's doing there. He has 2 lines set up so that I can't really get through to it. So it's really, really bad. And so I kind of think like maybe I can get over to the left and pull something off. It's not possible with 2 lines of bastions and that wall. So really, I need to shift to the left and then try and take my lickings and look for assassination next turn. So that's what I do. Siege just basically charges over here to the left because I want to try and see if I can do something. Otherwise, everything just runs up to engage. I have to make sure that Iris is kept busy, and yeah, I'm just making sure that I can now, if he's going to hide behind the wall, I need to do my angle from the left side, so I'm just trying to get myself into position, and as well, maybe I can also work it so that he goes for a bad assassination, because I'm pretty much fully camped, and then if he does that, again, maybe there's an opening where I can get to High Reclaimer. So he goes up and kills my guys, kind of like what you thought, but this is now finally, after getting my butt kicked for like 3 turns, I can finally go up there and set up this assassination. So just to explain it here, I have an Idrian that's currently in front of Siege and one in front of Stormwall, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and snuggle up to that Zealot that's kind of in front of Stormwall there. I'm going to then put down a Mage Sight so I can see the left Bastion, and I can also see High Reclaimer. Then I'm going to do a Force Hammer into that High Reclaimer, and I mean that angle has to be just right, so I slam him back through the High Reclaimer, knock the High Reclaimer down, who has no camp right now, you know, pop the feet, then I can go up with Stormwall, move him to the left, so you can also see through that line, and thanks to the Mage Sight, see High Reclaimer, shoot once, that's going to be the one that's going to be shield guarded, shoot twice, that's the one that's going to be, you know, triggering the feat, boost the damage, and, you know, hopefully that's going to kill High Reclaimer, because that's all I got. But not even this works for me, because once I move up here a Siege, and I start the whole process, that's when I realize that I'm within 10 inches of that book, and it's all for nothing. I've waited all this time, and now I can't even cast my spells because of that stupid book. So, yeah, all I can do now is kind of like peace out, stand around, and wait again that he makes a mistake. So, yeah, my turn kind of ends like this. I try and kill whatever models I can. Man, another model I forgot to say he had was Anastasia, and so a derp on my turn as I forgot to activate Watts and move up and try and kill her. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just standing around, looking like an idiot, hoping he makes a mistake, and just wishing that book was like a little bit further back or something. So on his turn, the biggest part of this is that even though Iris was way over there, so he was just within 19 inches to move over and shoot Siege and take off all my focus, and then once that happened, he really had an easy time of going after me. Actually, I almost survived. I had Holt come up, I get harmed, I get espionaged, but he almost kind of fails the assassination because he had some bad dice after some initial good ones. But yeah, Bryn beats me up, gets me by assassination. Looking at the clock, at the time where this game ended, he only had about 6 minutes left, and so this really made me think I dropped the wrong list. I should have dropped Haley2 and gone for Deathclock. We had kind of a discussion after about whether, you know, high-level play, whether Deathclock is something you should aim for, but definitely it seems like it's a better choice than hoping that a high-level player will make a mistake to allow your assassination. So, and as well, I have to be a little bit more mindful about the book. So, there you go. A loss, but at least it was to, you know, a good player who, spoilers, is going to win the entire tournament. Alright, so game 3 now, and I'm up against Legion again, and they're running Lilith, and also, man, what was the second caster? I didn't care, because as soon as I saw Lilith 2, I was like, yeah, I'm going to spam her and lock her out, and I'm going to win by scenario. And so he does drop Lilith, but to my surprise, I read it wrong, and it was actually Lilith 1. So this will be kind of an interesting game. You know, first of all, it's Lilith 1. You know, I haven't seen her in a very long time. As well, he's running kind of a really different list for Lilith 1. You know, I used to love her when I played Legion, but it was more for a spray assassination. In his list here, he has 2 units of the ambushers, which I've never faced before. He has like a whole bunch of incubi they'll be coming in too. He has hex hunters. He has the Black Frost Shard. He is running 2 Ravagors. He also has a Shepherd, and really that's it. So on my side, I'm running my Haley2. I have 2 units of Rangers, 2 units of Pressgangers, 2 units of the Forge Guard. I have Alexia in her Risen. I also have my Bonded Lancer, Squire, Gorman, and Rupert. And quite honestly, my whole game plan is run up, bog down, and win by scenario. So on my turn, because I won the initiative, I just run up. So I have Tough going up, I have Deceleration up, I charge to get to that hill, and I'm just running up. So on his turn, he actually can't bring his ambushers yet because he has to wait to turn 2. And so really, he does his best. I mean, the Hex Hunters just kind of run into me type thing. One of the key ones, as you can see, there's a Hex Hunter by the zone there. He actually didn't put it in the zone, so I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it is actually outside. You can see where the 2 Ravagor shots went. I take some corpses, and otherwise, yeah, time to keep on jamming. And since he's not in the zone, I'm pretty sure I can line up for some pretty big scores. I mean, really what I plan to do is lock him out. He'll fight whatever. I'll destroy the objective, dominate the zone, and then just start scoring on one of the outside flags or the zone again, depending on the situation. So that's really what I do. I bring up my Risen from all my dead. I am going to be moving up just a bit there with Haley to make sure I catch everything but the Shepherd, pop my feet. That also means that if the ambushers come from the left side, they'll also be caught on the feet. So that's why I'm kind of more over here. Plus, it's kind of a thing too where it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because if the ambushers come from the left side, they get caught on the feet. If they come from the right side, well, then I can just go for the flag over here. If they go for both sides, like one on each side, then I can just kind of overwhelm the one unit on the left and go after the flag. So I think this is a great thing to do. Really, otherwise, I don't do too much. I kill like 1 or 2 Hex Hunters. I think just 1, which he then puts down a marker to make it incubi. But yeah, I'm up there. Gorman made me a little cloud just because it seemed like the right thing to do. And he's kind of stuck out of the zone and engaged all over the place. So in his turn there, you can see here, they did bring in his ambushers. They could really just kind of move up. He was able to kill more of my units there, or more of my rangers and so forth. Really bad dice where the Black Frost Shard killed none of the guys they were on, but that was actually more so because they were attacking. I mean, some of them did, but other ones, what they did is they did an ice cage to Alexia, which stuck. And that allowed one of the Hex Hunters then to shoot her, and I had to go through a bunch of Risen to keep her alive, because he hit and then like cranked the damage. So luckily Tough really helped out with that as well, but otherwise, yeah, he just had to kind of really try and kill the stuff around him. Wasn't able to really clear anything up because of how the feet let me control him, and yeah, he's still not in the zone, so now I'm on with the plan with just destroy the objective. I'm probably going to have to TK up some of those Forge Guard to get it done, because I'm still kind of a little bit far back. Was a little bit too reserved with their movement, but yeah, time to start scoring. So that's what I do. Otherwise, although I get kind of lucky, and when my Pressgangers charge in first, they destroy the objective themselves. So hooray! Forge Guard can just do whatever they want. Otherwise, the Risen I brought in are actually behind, so they're surrounding Lilith and engaging the Ravagors from the back. I'm able to kill the Shepherd, which he turns into a Forsaken. The Incubi he brought up last time, I killed with my Lancer. I kill a few of his ambushers here on the left. He makes some more Incubi, but really, Haley just runs to the other side, so I'm going to be dominating, getting to 3 points to nothing, and then after this, you know, worst case scenario, even if he tramples into the zone, I just run to the flag and keep jamming. So on his turn, he actually handled this really, really well. I really like what he did here. And what that was is that, first of all, on the top, he was really careful with his activations to clear up the one Ravagore. The other Ravagore trampled into the zone far enough so that I couldn't TK it out. He also got a massive hit onto Alexia that it was just smart enough to make her die to keep the Risen. The ambushers go and kind of fight a little bit, don't do too much. The bottom unit runs so that two of them get into the zone. And so first of all, he did a very great job of contesting the zone. And then secondly, he cleared it up so he could shoot Haley. So luckily I was fully camped, but now I'm on fire. And yeah, you know, I thought Haley was going to be pretty safe. I'm really happy that I decided to go with a full camp, but yeah, really impressed with what he did here. Now, I have two choices. One, I could say screw this noise and run to the right and start scoring on the flag like was my plan, but if the fire damage starts doing like lots of damage, I could die before I win by scenario. So what I need to do then is I think I need to go for the zone here, and I need to just win by the regular scenario on the zone. Alright, so what I do then is I TK around the Ravagore, I hit him with a time bomb to get some damage in there. Then I do a derp where I go up with Gorman, I'm like, Rust Bomb! And then that's when I get reminded that only reduces the armor of Jax. So that was all just useless. Forge Guard, though, charge in and are able to kill it off. That means that the Press Gangers go down, and this is where I was hoping for some silly jank where the last goes and seduces the one to move outside and then stab the other in the back. But he missed, and then I was trying to figure out what else to do to make this work, and then luckily for me, Rupert himself is able to kill the last guy in the zone, so I didn't need to figure out anything else janky, and in the end, I get the win by scenario. So Rob was a real fun guy to play against. It was just a lot of fun to play this game, and you know, even though it was kind of obvious that he was going to get locked out of the zone and stuff, he played it very well. And yeah, I'm happy to be back on the winning side. Alright, so last game here is going to be up against Nick. Nick is a very strong player for Circle that I've played before. He beat me before. He beat my brother. And so I wanted to do well against him. And unfortunately, he has a pairing that I don't like. He is running not Baldur. There's actually no Baldur, or sorry, no Bradigus at all at the tournament. He has Baldur 2 and Kruger 2. And that poses a real problem for my list. I have gone into this before where I assumed there'd be a Bradigus, and there isn't a Bradigus, and there is Baldur 2. And so I already know that if, okay, let's say I take Haley. If I take Haley and I go against Baldur 2, I know I can't win by scenario. So I can only hope that he death clocks himself. So that's not good. Against Kruger 2, again, with all of his spells and his feet and stuff, he can kill a lot of my guys, and again, winning by scenario, very, very difficult. If I take Siege, I really don't like the Siege game against Baldur 2 because of all of his little armor buffs he gets to put up that kind of mitigate my feet, and then against Kruger 2, he has Stormwall, which really shuts me down and makes a lot of trouble. So in the end, I really didn't know what to drop, but really at this point I was kind of more tired. I think that kind of led it to, but I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to go Siege because I do not want another nightmare of doing Haley against Baldur 2, so I'm going for Siege, and then he drops Kruger 2. So now I have the nightmare of a shooty list versus Stormwall. So we'll have to see how I have to handle this one, but what he has in his list is Kruger 2, who is running a Gorax and 2 of the Stalkers. He also has the Falconer, who is running 2 of the Rotterhorns. He has 2 sets of stones, 1 with UA. He has the Druids with UA. He has 2 Gallows Groves, and I believe that's it. No, he also has 2 Black Clads. And yeah, this should be pretty interesting. Now, the way that this got deployed here, and again, the scenario here is first to 5. You get 1 for controlling a zone, 2 for dominating. You can only dominate, I believe, the close one. I don't know. We have to kill the enemy objective first. But this is going to be kind of a hard one to win by scenario until I saw his deployment. He's actually more on the left side. So I started thinking that maybe I could win by scenario by going for his zone. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and we'll see if it works. So I won the initiative, and I'm moving up. I could have moved up further, but I didn't want to lose any early models. Looking back, I should have been a little bit more aggressive on this turn, And the Rangers really just kind of like make a rush for that hill on the right side. But again, I should have had at least one model closer to the center so I could mark later. But yeah, either way, I felt like, okay, I'm making a big play on his zone. On his turn, he gets nice and aggressive. And that's not what I wanted to see, because he's up there, he's making all of his clouds. His Warp Wolves have Prowl, and they're in the clouds, so they have stealth. And, I mean, Chromac is right up there. He is right up there in the front, and that means Stormwall goes way back. Basically, if I'm in the zone at all, in contesting my zone, I am being affected by Stormwall. So, the first idea I have is that I can go with Siege. I can feat, I can put up the mage sight, take a shot at one of the wolves, because I can be just out of Chromac's Stormwall range and still shoot the stalkers, and then go with the Stormwall. It's going to go and finish off one of the stalkers. The other one I probably can't finish off, but he shouldn't be able to finish me off, and then basically I win on attrition. But then I realized that because of my deployment in my situation here is I can't actually do that. I can't do Siege first. So looking at it for a while, I decided to go with Plan B. And Plan B is to really work on that right zone, because as you see there, all he has in there currently is one stone, which I want to kill anyway because it's there to be able to teleport the other stalker. So if on my right side, all I do is kind of move up, make sure to kill that one stone, let's say maybe kill off a druid, kill off that tree, I will be all over that zone and really threatening, so that if the stalker comes after the Stormwall, he really will not have anything on the right side except for stuff that I can kind of kill off with what I have. And then meanwhile on the left, I'll just kill off the Rotterhorn so that the Nist can be a lot bigger of an issue to try and get in there and deal with him. So it was good to have a plan. But then I totally frick it up. This pissed me off. What I did here made me want to just throw the game. I mean, I had to stop and calm myself down so I didn't just give up the game. I mean, this is the point where I realized that staying up late the night before, this is where it's going to cost me. And what happened is that I load up my Stormwall, it's ready to go, and then I move up to start shooting that stalker. And that's where my opponent reminds me, I have stealth because I have Prowl. It's like, God damn it, I went with option A. I specifically ruled out battle plan A, knowing I had to go with B, and then went with plan A. And so really what I did is the Stormwall did like nothing. Maybe I think I shot down one druid, that's it. And then now I'm in a spot where I'm going to lose my Stormwall. My Stormwall will die. Like, there's just no way it lives with the two stalkers there and Primal and whatever he wants. It is dead. And that is just pretty much the game. So, like I said, I heavily thought about throwing in the towel. I apologized to my opponent. I was not going to ask for a take back or anything because that's just too massive. And, you know, it's a tournament and this is the last game where maybe one of us can get third. So I was like, okay, calm down. I explained to my opponent what I was thinking of doing, and I apologized again, and then I just went on with it. So basically, the Nis need to be up there to just jam. He can probably clear it out, but that's my best shot. So the Nis just run up to jam. Siege, I didn't know what the hell to do with him, so I just moved him behind the Stormwall, which was a bad choice. On the right side, that worked out. I killed off that stone. I killed off a druid. I also killed a tree. So the right side, I mean, if you ignore the left side of the screen and just look on the right, it's like, yeah, my plan is going awesome. But if you look at anything else, it's like, no, it's over. So on his turn, kind of like what you thought, he comes up here. He has Primal onto the right stalker, and it really messes me up. The left stalker just has Lightning Strike. It comes up, it finishes me off, backs away. To set that up, he of course has to kill off all of my Nis, and that really wasn't that hard. Una, or Ulna, or whatever her name is, the Falconer, she has Black Penny, so with her 3 shots, she kills 3. The druids get to shoot down some. He goes and he feats and he pushes me out of the zone. He also destroyed the objective as well with that stalker with Lightning Strike. Actually, if I remember it right, he didn't. He actually had to shoot it down with Kruger. But yeah, he's at 3 points now. And again, I had in the back of my mind, like, just walk out of the zone, man. Just kill box yourself, whatever. You can't win this. But after about another 5 minutes of me just calming myself down, I decided to play the game. And so all I'm going to basically do is run. Siege is going to put himself up there so I can try and tempt him into a bad assassination. And then otherwise, everything is running to the zone. I have Squire and Reinhold on opposite corners to help contest. I have a couple of gun mages I was able to sneak in there. His one stalker on the right, remember had Primal, so I put a ranger there that he'll have to attack. And then otherwise, yeah, I destroy the objective, which was pretty nice, between the Ayan and Holt and Black 13th. So I get a point there. I don't control it because there's 2 stones in the back, but at least I get that going, and I'm just really hoping he makes a mistake. I mean, looking at this, to me, he could very easily just win this off by scenario, but I'm hoping he makes a mistake. And luckily, he does. So what happens here is that he puts Primal onto the other stalker. Of course, the first stalker just freaked out and killed the ranger we were talking about. He comes after Siege and beats me up, but doesn't kill me. Kruger comes over. Actually, Kruger went first and tried shooting me and stuff and used his whole stack. So he's sitting there with no camp. And then when the stalker failed to kill me, because I'm camping 7, then he started feeling like he was in a lot of trouble, which he was. The Rotterhorn charges over after the Falconer clears it up, and it goes after Siege, but it can't do any damage because I'm like armor 24. And yeah, he's able to kill a little bit of stuff otherwise, but now I'm in a very good spot. So all I need to do now is kill Kruger. So he's camping nothing. You know, I have a lot of gunners that are coming over here from the other side. So really, all I need to do is kill off the guy with counter magic. I'm going to then do my force hammer through the gap here, because he actually purposely left a gap between the 2 models. Or maybe either way, he admitted there was a gap that he left. I'm going to force hammer after I feat into Kruger, slam him into the stone. That might kill him, and even if it doesn't, he'll be knocked down, and then one of my mages from the right can just come over, do snipe, and finish him off. So I'm like, thank God, you know, I'm being rewarded for not quitting the game, and we can keep doing this. Yeah, but unfortunately, it all doesn't work. So my big mistake is that I get right into it. I go a Siege, I pop my feet, and then I go to do Force Hammer, and he's like, well, counter magic, you can't cast any spells. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. You know, I made a massive mistake to start. I was able to get super lucky to be still in the game, and then I messed it up. Like, this should have been the easiest thing to do, and I messed it up. So okay, you know, he actually offers, like, hey man, if you want to activate something first and kill that guy with counter magic, it's cool. And it's like, no. First off, I said I was activating Siege and pop feet and started doing things. It'd be wrong to do this. And then second of all, I don't deserve to win this game anyway because of the mistake I started off with. So with that, all I can really do is hope that I can move over, take a free strike, and then just basically walk around, and then I have reach to kill him. And I have to hope he rolls kind of low. Well, the Stalker does roll low, but unfortunately rolls just low enough that he kills Siege and does the 4 boxes he needs to kill me, and that's the game. So, it's one of those ones where, I mean, at least this ended well. I mean, really, if I would have quit and just thrown the game at one of those points I was thinking of it, I would feel less of myself as a man, right? So it's good that I actually played it, but definitely I have to make it a rule now that whenever I have a tournament that I want to be playing well at, I cannot go into it with 2 hours of sleep and heavy drinking the night before. You have to have the focus, because this is one of those first times where it really came up where, wow, my brain just is not working. So big mistakes made there, but hey, at least it had an interesting finish. So thanks for watching, and feel free to make some posts about how crazy I am and how foolish I am. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Bye.